In basketball, we've seen extraordinary talents, but then there are those stories that transcend the court, moments so rare, they redefine the game itself. Right now, we're witnessing one of those stories, and it's all thanks to one player, the 7 feet 4 inches sensation who's breaking records and leaving fans in awe. You know who we're talking about, Victor Wembanyama.
Wemby! Yes, sir!
Not only has he dazzled the league with his unique skill set, but he recently dropped an incredible 50-point game against the Washington Wizards, proving he's not just making headlines, he's making history. Adding to his legendary start, Wembanyama is now only the 3rd player in NBA history to record a 5x5 stat line in multiple games, a feat achieved previously by Andrei Kirilenko and Hakeem Olajuwon. And as if that weren't enough, he's also joined Hakeem as one of only 2 players ever to notch 25+ points, 5+ rebounds, 5+ assists, 5+ blocks, and 5+ steals in multiple games. This is more than a hot streak. Wembanyama is reshaping the NBA's expectations every time he steps onto the court. As the New York Times aptly put it in their pre-draft profile of Victor, when Wembanyama plays basketball, he looks otherworldly. His height and his wingspan of about 8 feet often make it seem as though he's in 2 places at once. He's as smooth as a smaller player, but he barely has to leave the ground to block shots or grab rebounds. That pretty much sums it up. It might seem like his whole life was a concentrated effort to bring him to this point, starting from his family background. His mom played basketball at a high level, and his father was a professional high jumper and track athlete. His older sister also played basketball and won a gold medal with France at the 2017 Under-16 European Championship. Wembanyama's size has always stood out. At just 10 years old, while playing for a youth basketball team in his hometown west of Paris, a coach from Nanterre, a prominent professional club in France, mistook him for an assistant coach due to his height. He was that much taller than his peers even at that age. By 14, Wembanyama had already helped his under-18 team become runners-up in the French league and had begun to catch the attention of scouts across Europe. He was a lanky center unafraid to shoot deep threes, attack the lane, and play the game in ways no one else did. It was clear early on that his size and skill set would make him a standout. Victor wasn't putting limits on his game, telling his coaches, only half-jokingly, "I can play all 5 positions." And he backed it up with his play, going head-to-head against the best and making them look small in the process. Here's an example with Rudy Gobert, who at 7'1" was already a multiple-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Every NBA and EuroLeague scout tuned in during the summer of 2021 to watch 7-foot Chet Holmgren, the soon-to-be number 2 overall pick in the NBA draft, face off against Wembanyama in the FIBA Under-19 World Cup gold medal game. Team USA narrowly defeated France 83-81, but Wembanyama delivered 8 blocks and 22 points in an MVP-caliber performance, setting a FIBA World Cup record for blocked shots with 40. An NBA scout remarked to Yahoo Sports, "Never have I ever seen Chet overshadowed physically like he was whenever the two met. Victor practically can and does do all that Chet can, but is 3 inches taller and may have a better feel as a passer." After that tournament, Wembanyama's status as a global phenomenon was cemented. Despite offers to join elite European clubs, Wembanyama stayed in France, playing for Asvel in the EuroLeague and the top division of French basketball.
Hits the perimeter. Wembanyama lines up and lets fly.
Fun fact, Asvel is owned by San Antonio Spurs legend Tony Parker. In the 2022-23 season, Wembanyama signed with Metropolitans 92. He became the youngest player to win the Pro A MVP award while also earning Best Defender honors and leading the league in scoring, rebounds, and blocks. He was named an LNB All-Star twice, winning the All-Star Game MVP once, and was a 3-time Pro A Best Young Player. That same season, the NBA started streaming Wembanyama's French League games on its app and organized 2 showcase games in Las Vegas between Metropolitans 92 and the G League Ignite, the NBA's developmental team for top draft prospects. While Metropolitans 92 lost the first game, Wembanyama put on a show with 37 points, 7 3-pointers, and 5 blocks. In the rematch, Metropolitans 92 won, with Wembanyama finishing with 36 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks. As the 2023 NBA draft approached, the question wasn't who would be picked first. It was who would be picked second, as Victor Wembanyama to San Antonio was set in stone the moment the Spurs won the draft lottery. Recognizing the immense pressure, San Antonio's legendary coach Greg Popovich said during the draft, "We must not skip any steps with Victor. Because of the hype, he will be targeted."
Look out. Oh my goodness!
The important thing is to establish a framework and an environment in which he feels comfortable. He's not LeBron, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, or anyone else. He is Victor, and we want him to stay that way. San Antonio knew that Wembanyama's rookie season would require patience. The team lacked NBA talent and veterans in key positions, particularly at point guard, the player often responsible for organizing the offense. As a result, the Spurs opened the season with Jeremy Sohan running the point. Jeremy was picked 9th overall in the previous year's draft and has some versatility to his game, but he was ill-equipped to be the primary initiator, someone to bring order to the offense and consistently set up good shots for Wemby. By mid-November, the Spurs had plunged to the bottom of the Western Conference standings and didn't climb out until the final game of the regular season, jumping into 14th place ahead of the Portland Trail Blazers. Despite the struggles, Wembanyama never lost his composure or turned on his teammates, even during an early season ankle injury that limited his minutes and the amount of losses he was unaccustomed to. He focused on what he could control and showed just how much he could do. In only the 5th game of his NBA career, he dropped 38 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks against the Phoenix Suns, becoming only the 3rd teenager in NBA history, along with LeBron James and Kevin Durant, to record 35-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and 2-plus blocks in a single game. In early December, Wembanyama became the youngest player in NBA history to record a 20-20 game, joining Dwight Howard as the only teenagers to ever achieve the feat. On January 21st, he recorded his first triple-double with 16 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and 0 turnovers in just 21 minutes. He followed that up with another triple-double in February, this time with points, rebounds, and blocks, single-handedly turning the paint into a no-fly zone against the Toronto Raptors. We haven't seen a stat line like this since Hakeem Olajuwon and David Robinson. The flashes of his unique combination of skills, size, athleticism, and versatility were incredibly tantalizing, and the Spurs needed every bit of what Wemby could muster. The question was, could he really do everything on the floor at all times? We got our answer in the first game after the 2024 All-Star break. On February 22nd in Sacramento, Wemby fell just 1 assist short of one of the rarest statistical feats in basketball, the 5x5 line. He posted 19 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals, and 5 blocks. Not to worry, the 5x5 would be conquered the very next day, February 23rd, in Los Angeles against the Lakers, when Wembanyama put up a massive 27 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 5 steals, and 5 blocks while shooting 7 of 16 overall and 10 of 11 from the free throw line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's played 7 minutes, and he's got an and one coming up to try to make it 16.
It was just the 15th 5x5 stat line ever recorded in NBA history. Wembanyama also posted his 5x5 game in record speed, doing it in just 31 minutes played. Ironically, the Spurs lost both games by 5 points. Victor finished the season strong, vaulting into the Defensive Player of the Year race and ultimately finishing runner-up to Rudy Gobert. He also capped the race for the Rookie of the Year award by putting a beatdown on the OKC Thunder and his main rival, Chet Holmgren, which we've broken down in a previous video. The Spurs, of course, were far outside the playoff picture, but Victor got the chance to compete in the Olympic Games for the French senior national team, leading the host nation to a silver medal. The Olympic experience, while extremely valuable for a young player's development and generally regarded as one of the highest honors an athlete can receive, did take its toll on Wemby. Deprived of a traditional NBA offseason, he had to ramp up for the sprint of the Olympic tournament, then cool down and quickly ramp back up to prepare for his second NBA season. The lack of conditioning is evident in his first few games of the new season. Adjusting to players added by the Spurs in the offseason also takes time, and you can see Wemby constantly trying to balance setting up his teammates and establishing himself. The NBA schedule makers, eager to play into the budding Chet Holmgren, Victor Wembanyama rivalry, scheduled the contest between the Spurs and the Thunder early in the season to spark viewer interest and see how offseason speculation would play out on the basketball court. All eyes were on Wemby, and the Thunder spanked him, constant defensive pressure and unexpected help from OKC's legion of versatile defenders held Victor scoreless in the second half. A fall he took in the second quarter didn't help, but we have to call it how we see it. Wemby was thoroughly outplayed that night and had no answers. The main question for a young player after a game like this is always, how will he respond to a disastrous outing?
Wemby pulling up again. Oh, he's putting back-to-back three.
Well, the very next day, after traveling from Oklahoma City to Utah, Victor responded with a ridiculously well-rounded performance. 25 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 steals, and 5 blocks in an 18-point Spurs win. Since steals and blocks were recorded in 1973, Wembanyama became just the third player in NBA history to achieve a 5x5 stat line in multiple games. Former Utah Jazz defensive stalwart Andrei Kirilenko did it 3 times, and Hakeem Olajuwon got to it a whopping 6 times. Victor also joined Hakeem as the only players in NBA history to total 25-plus points, 5-plus rebounds, 5-plus assists, 5-plus blocks, and 5-plus steals in multiple games. That's some good company to be in, to say the least. But Wemby isn't content just to be among the elite. He's creating a category of his own right now. As of November 13th, 2024, Wembanyama became the first player in league history to tally 23 pointers and 25 blocks over a 6-game span. This incredible feat was powered by his career-high 50-point eruption against the Washington Wizards. At just 20 years and 314 days old, Wembanyama became the 4th youngest player ever to score 50 points, behind only Brandon Jennings, LeBron James, and Devin Booker. He also etched his name in Spurs history as the first player to record 50-plus points and 5-plus made 3-pointers in a single game. Just think of the players we've mentioned so far: Dwight Howard, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, the very best in the history of the league, and Wembanyama has already put himself in the record books alongside all of them at just 20 years old. Coming off a Rookie of the Year season, Wembanyama is evolving into a generational player right before our eyes. With his skill set and rapid improvement, the sky's the limit for Victor. Could he be on his way to MVP status? Will he lead his team to the playoffs and beyond? We're only at the beginning of what could be one of the most remarkable careers in NBA history. What do you think? Are we witnessing the rise of the next NBA legend? Share your thoughts below. We will be talking more about Victor Wembanyama's incredible journey so far, so make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon to stay updated with all his latest highlights and our in-depth breakdowns. We'll see you in the next video.